going in a completely different direction with massive swings. And this also included our own internal polling, which is quite sophisticated. So polling was showing us something, opinion polls are showing us something, polls, the regular polls showing us something, and suddenly we are finding the result is in the opposite direction. Third thing, we noticed that there is always a reason. There is always a reason given for this lack of anti-incumbency, for this shift suddenly from these opinion polls, right? And the reasons are multiple: Ladli Behna, Pulwama, now Sindoor. So we saw this pattern, and then, of course, the most fundamental thing, that elections are choreographed. There was a time in India, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक वोटर मशीन नहीं थी, इंडिविजुअल वोट था, पूरा देश एक दिन वोट करता था. बट आज के जमाने में यूपी में अलग अलग वोटिंग होती है, बिहार में कभी और हो रही है, महीनों के लिए चलती है. एंड दिस वाज समथिंग दैट वी वर सस्पिशियस. ये महीनों के लिए, व्हाई इज इट टेकिंग सो लॉन्ग, एंड व्हाई इज देयर कोरियोग्राफी? सडनली द Haryana and Karnataka elections are repositioned, dates are changed. So this is what general public को suspicion थी, हमें भी suspicion थी. उसके बाद suspicion became concretized. महाराष्ट्र पे पहले हम स्टेट लेवल पर बता नहीं पा रहे थे कि इस सस्पेशन का कारण क्या है, व्हाट इज द लॉजिक बिहाइंड दिस. मेनी आर्ग्यूमेंट्स वर मेड, द लॉजिक वाज डिफिकल्ट फॉर अस टू कम बाय. इन महाराष्ट्र एंड इन हरियाणा वी सॉ इट राइट इन आवर फेस. एंड महाराष्ट्र, एज आई हैव सेड, अरे It's amazing. So, महाराष्ट्र में, और ये हमने पब्लिकली कहा, इलेक्शन कमीशन को कहा, महाराष्ट्र में more voters added in 5 months than 5 years. More voters added in 5 months than in 5 years, caused us suspicion. More voters than the entire population of Maharashtra. Again, very surprising fact. And then huge jump in voter turnout after 5 p.m. And everybody saw this. Maharashtra में विधानसभा में हमारा गठबंधन वाइप आउट हो जाता है, और लोकसभा में कुछ ही महीने पहले हमारा गठबंधन स्वीप करता है. वेरी सस्पिशियस. एंड महाराष्ट्र में वी फाउंड एट द स्टेट लेवल दैट लोकसभा और विधानसभा के बीच में 1 crore न्यू वोटर्स केम इनटू द गेम. सो वी वेंट टू द इलेक्शन कमीशन. आई गेव स्पीच इन पार्लियामेंट. India Gathbandhan leaders did a press conference. No response. And then I wrote this article, and which we printed in multiple newspapers. And this was the crux of our argument. And we stated with certainty in our mind that Maharashtra election was stolen. And that article came out, and it created a flutter. What is the crux of the problem? Voter list is the property of this country. The Election Commission refuses, absolutely refuses, to give us the voter list. doesn't give it to political parties, gives it in a form where it simply cannot be analyzed, or it couldn't be analyzed until we did this work. And go back. EC rejects Congress plea for machine-readable Maharashtra voter list. Machine-readable is the key. Because if we want to analyze the data, we need soft copies. And I'll explain to you why. Go back here. And then something very interesting they did. They said we are going to destroy CCTV footage. And this was surprising to us because there was this question in Maharashtra that you would have had to have massive voting after 5:30 for the numbers to add up. And our people knew, and the alliance people knew that in the polling booths, no such thing happened. There was not massive voting after 5:30. There were no big lines after 5:30. So these two things made us believe with reasonable certainty that the Election Commission of India was colluding with the BJP to steal elections. But we still didn't have proof. We were still in the zone ki, yes, we have Maharashtra, we have proof at the larger level, state level, we can see these voters have come, but ये नहीं मालूम ये कैसे आए हैं, कहां से आए हैं, सिस्टम कैसा चलता है, कहां से रिगिंग हो रही है. So we put together a team and we told them, listen, we need to know how this is being done. This was the challenge here. This is 7 feet of paper. As you can see, you have to sort through every single one of these. So let's suppose I want to find out if you have voted twice or if your name occurs twice in the voter list. I have to take your picture and then I have to compare it to every single bit of paper and say, भैया ये फोटो यहाँ है, let me show you. ऐसी लिस्ट होती है, तो then we have to take this individual photo and we have to take it and look in every single sheet कि ये इस व्यक्ति दो बार तो नहीं आई है. That's the process and it's a very tedious process. I had initially thought that we will do multiple seats, but when we faced this, we realized why the Election Commission doesn't give us electronic data. Because they don't want us to look carefully. Right? And this task took us 6 months. So what you're going to see here was 6 months of the work of 30 to 40 people, non-stop, comparing names, comparing addresses, comparing pictures. And we have done the work for one assembly constituency. If you want to do the work for one Lok Sabha, that's in Karnataka, that's 7. Dikhao. That's 7 of those. Right? So you can imagine the task that we are being forced to do. Now, analyzing this, if the Election Commission gave us electronic data, 30 seconds. Right? And I repeat, this is why we are being given data like this, so that it is not analyzed. Next. Sorry, just go back. There's another very interesting thing that we discovered, which came as a shock to us, which is that these papers that are given, they themselves do not allow for optical character recognition. So if you scan them, you can't actually get the data out of them. And we were surprised, why? Why is the Election Commission protecting these pieces of paper? ठीक है, आप सॉफ्ट कॉपी नहीं देना चाहते, but इनको क्यों प्रोटेक्ट कर रहे हो? Right? And EC deliberately provides non-machine readable papers. This was another thing that when we discovered it, we were like, this is strange. Next. And so here is what we did. Our internal polling told us that we were expected to win 16 seats in Karnataka, and we won 9. So we then focused on the 7 unexpected losses, and we chose 1 Lok Sabha, and out of that Lok Sabha, our team said, we can only do 1 Vidhan Sabha. And so we chose 1 Vidhan Sabha, focused on Mahadevapura. And here's the broad maths. Achha, all the data that we have here is 2024 data from the Election Commission. Everything that we have here is their data. They have given it to us. Okay. In this form. 2024, total votes polled, 6.26 lakhs in the Lok Sabha. BJP wins with 658,915 with a margin of 32,707. But then, the interesting thing, we look at Mahadevapura assembly segment. And the BJP, the Congress polls 1,15,586 and the BJP polls 2,29,632. Congress wins all the Vidhan Sabhas except this one. And in this one, BJP sweeps and gets a margin of 1,14,046. This seat wins them the election. And the Lok Sabha goes in their favor. Next. Go back. Sorry. Yeah, okay. So we started to look at that number. Just give me that the last one. We started to look at this number. This number was very interesting to us. Why is it that this comes out of 1 seat? It's a huge imbalance. Right? So we started looking at Mahadevapura assembly, we started looking at the details. And now I'm going to tell you what we found. We found that 1,250,000 votes were stolen. And we're going to tell you how. Number in the assembly, total number of votes. So out of 6,50,000 total votes in the assembly of Mahadevapura, 1,250,000 votes were stolen. They were stolen in 5 different ways. The first way, duplicate voters. One voter appearing multiple times on the voter list. Fake and invalid addresses. Voters who didn't have addresses or were just fake addresses. Bulk voters in single address. One building, 50 people, 60 people, 1 bedroom house, but we go there, no 50 people living there. No record of those people ever having living there. 1 family living in that house. Invalid photos, photos which you simply cannot see or no photo